Hey there, what's up? Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. It is Alicia here from aliciacarlson.com. Obviously, if we are connected on social media, Facebook, Instagram, then you probably already knew that. But I wanted to talk to you today about this idea of core values, finding your true north, and how that really contributes to you living and leading your ultimately your best healthy life. And this idea has kind of evolved for me, and it really stemmed from kind of my own personal experience where I realized that the way that I was pursuing a healthy lifestyle was living outside of alignment with some bigger core values that I had. For one, it was setting a positive example or role model for my daughter. The second thing was being able to sit down and have a family meal. And the way that I was eating and the way that I was treating my body or working out, all in the name of health, rubbed up against those two deeper core values. For one, I kind of had this realization that me putting so much emphasis on my physical health and sacrificing mental and emotional health in the process wasn't really setting an example for my daughter that I wanted. The other thing was kind of always, even if it was just mentally and emotionally beating myself up for still needing to lose 5 or 10 more pounds, or, needing to be a certain size or lose a certain amount of weight or whatever to be healthy. She saw that, right? She saw the behavior, she saw the emotions and the mindset that kind of fueled that behavior. The second one, and really the bigger one, the more obvious way that those behaviors rubbed up against my core values was I wasn't eating the same way that my family was, right? I would opt for the low carb or the no carb option while everybody else was eating pasta, or I would go through some pretty extreme measures to make sure that my food was, the healthiest that it could be, but ultimately always trying to feed that desire to lose weight to feel better about myself, right? And so when I had the realization that these behaviors were not aligning with those deeper core values, I had to really take a step back and ask myself, did I want to keep going that way? Could I really keep going that way of operating and behaving in a way that didn't align with the things that were really important to me, of setting a good example for my daughter and being able to enjoy mealtime with my family without being stressed out or worried about the carb count or the fat or the is this the cleanest, the healthiest option available, right? But just actually eating and being present and being in the moment with my family. So I want to ask you, is the way that you are pursuing your health and well-being ultimately supporting things that are really important to you, things that are really valuable to you? Do you even know what your core values are? I will totally admit I've had to Google that several times to look at, these lists of core values and really pick out what are the things that are most important to me. So for one, if you don't yet know your core values, I want to encourage you to spend a little bit of time exploring that and asking yourself what those things might be. What are those things that when you are living in a way that aligns with those, you just feel like everything clicks, right? Like everything is a little bit easier. It takes a little bit less energy and mental capacity. It just kind of flows, right? But when you're living outside of that alignment, when you are doing behaviors or you're engaging in behaviors that don't align with those things that are truly important to you in your heart, that I believe is where we have so much friction and so much resentment and so much resistance. So number one is identifying your core values. What are the things that are truly important to you? And then number two is following that up with, is the way that I'm pursuing a healthy lifestyle or my wellness or my well-being, is that in alignment with this, or is it secretly kind of competing with or conflicting? And one of the tail ways I think that you will know is, does it feel like it is just unbearable? Does it feel like it is just so hard that you can't even get excited about doing it? And don't get me wrong, that if you are trying to create new habits around moving your body daily or changing up some of your eating behaviors or habits, like anytime that there is change, there's going to be some discomfort. But I think that when you really start to feel that resistance or you feel resentful and like you just don't even want to take that next step, I think that that is where you need to lean in and ask yourself, am I honoring my core values or not? Am I, really in line with that true north and that North Star, or am I trying to fit into somebody else's mold and somebody else's idea of what my healthy lifestyle, what my well-being should look like? So hopefully this kind of helps you get a little bit more in tune with yourself and in line with really the kind of person that you want to be, the kind of woman you want to show up as, and the lifestyle that you want to be living so that you can be that best version of yourself. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for spending your time with me, hanging out. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to shoot me a message, or you can always leave those in the comments. And if you know of somebody that's been struggling to get that healthy lifestyle or get their well-being under wraps, please consider sharing this with them as well, to spread that encouragement, that inspiration, and ultimately to empower one another, because that's what it's all about. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you again real soon. Thanks.